Hey everyone, welcome to the Plant-Based Morning Show. It's Wednesday, October 25th. Plantapalooza Longevity has officially kicked off. Doug's been doing that all morning. I'm going to add him into Instagram here in a few minutes, and he can tell us all about what happened today. If you want to join that, though, go to nomeatathlete.com/longevity. And I think I saw Ella, is it Majors, I believe is how you pronounce her last name, and Dr. Joel Kahn. We're kicking it off today. So that's our sponsor, Compliment, lovecompliment.com, who you will know, of course, because we say that every time we do the show, which is Wednesday. No, it's Wednesday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We do it in those 3 days of the week out of order like that. Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday of each week, 11 a.m. So you can always join us live. If you're a podcast listener, we urge you, encourage you, implore you to join us live because that's where the action is. All right, there's Doug. How's it going? He's out of his Plantapalooza hole.
I am out of the hole. I am in full-on festival mode here, ready to party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do have time for the show today? You can actually do this with us?
Well, I'm here, aren't I?
Well, you are here. I know. A little late, unprepared, you said. So just want to make sure this isn't interfering too much with your plans.
No, it's there's one thing. We've been working together, what, like 12 years, something like that?
Probably about that. Maybe even more than that.
Yeah, well, and every single one of those years we've had big launches where we've launched some sort of event or new training plan or whatever, and all this time 12 years later they're still not any easier, because as much planning as you can do is when it's time to turn everything on, there's going to be something that breaks or something you didn't think of. And so this morning's just been hours of mad scramble to get to this point where I'm here with you now, live. Plantapalooza is live on the website. You can save up to 51% off of Compliment products. Everything is at least 25%. A lot of things are 30%. Some things are 51%. Head over there now. There's and this is bigger than Black Friday. Bigger sales than Black Friday. So if you want to stock up, now's the time to do it. Lovecompliment.com. And we have all this incredible content coming out too. Like you said, Dr. Khan interview, Ella Majors interview, where she did it's not an interview, it's 4-part video series with the whole yoga flow and different mobility exercises. It's super cool. So this is a big day for No Meat Athlete. I mean, No Meat Athlete and Compliment, I guess.
Yeah, right. Good. All right. Well, I think the content is what we've obviously led with, but bigger than Black Friday. That's a pretty big claim. I think we better make sure we don't bury that. So go check out the product too, as well
not
as
a claim. It's real. I know what Black Friday deals are coming, and they're not as good. So this is the time to stock up.
Good. Okay. Great. So do that. That's over at lovecompliment.com. They are our sponsor. I have my Outlier Health parent company.
Yeah, there you go.
Coat jacket thing on, corporate guy shirt today, whatever you call that. Just does not at all fit my vibe, but every now and then I put it on when I'm too cold.
Your fleece jacket, it's definitely it's got the tech bro.
Yeah, it's like an exec kind of guy, like dad exec.
My hair's a mess. I haven't showered in days.
Sometimes I put this on when I haven't showered in order to look like I'm presenting. All right. So we got some people here today, as usual. Kelly K, Anne-Marie. Emery, whose article suggestion inspired today's feature content. Stephen Dunn, Sarah Slemp, Justin Kerner, new podcast listener, or no, new joiner of the live from the podcast. So
I love
that's
it.
Exciting. That's what I'm going to try to get more people to do. So thank you, Justin, for showing up. Welcome to the live. Kind of like the guy who quit his job yesterday, who said that he was here, quit the job so that he could actually start coming, which turned out not to be true, but got me excited. Mr. Jeffrey, Matt O'Connor, Phyllis Hauser, Harold Dahl. So a lot of people here that we know. Welcome. All right. So we gotta lead off, Doug, with I think it's pronounced Daiya, but it's Daiya. You sent me this yesterday. What?
It's pronounced Daiya?
Yeah, Matt Resigno told me that a long time ago. He was a dietitian, and he had some sort of joke that he did at the dietitian conferences. He said he was a dietitian, and he was corrected by one of them to say, no, it's Daiya, but everyone calls it Daiya, so that we'll just keep calling it Daiya. They of course did the pyramid scheme that really turned out to be something of a pyramid scheme. I mean, yeah, it was
a scheme of sorts. Yeah.
When they
just everybody was
pulled
at the
rug,
bottom.
they basically said,
Mhm.
"Hey, everyone, come get free pizza. Sign up. Give us your address." I mean, great idea, right? Just say we're going to give away stuff
Yeah.
for free. Sign up.
Mhm.
Give us all your information possible, and then we'll pull the rug and tell you all that you're not actually getting it, but you're entering the contest so that like one of you will get it or something.
Yeah.
Uh, Everyone was angry. I was angry. I thought it was horrible. We talked about it on the show. I don't know if it was their intention, but they had to know they were going to go through 10,000 free pizzas because when you say it's free, especially pizza, people come get it. So
And it was 3 per person, so it's like it was only like 3,000 people that could have signed up.
was it
It
3? I thought
had
it was
been
2.
maybe
But
2.
either
Okay.
way, not many people. 5,000. Um,
Yeah.
so anyway, we said this is horrible. What are they doing? I actually wrote unsubscribe. I responded to that email that said, "Hey, you were or whatever. We ran out. Thanks for your address though, and now you're entering
Mm.
the contest." I just said unsubscribe. Please do not send anything to that address or anything. And so I didn't get this email yesterday that you got and my wife Erin got because she also, like you, I guess, did not angrily unsubscribe like I did. Um, and it said, "Hey there, it's a pals at Daiya again. First off, we want to start by saying sorry. We messed up. You entered our pizza pyramid scheme, and you should have received your coupon. Simple as that. We were surprised. We tried to fix it, but we made it worse, et cetera, et cetera." I mean, this is what you should do, right? They're doing exactly what you have
Yeah.
to do. They're honoring the coupons now. They still will be sent out, and they hope you'll forget it. I think it's actually a very nice apology letter. They didn't give any excuse. A
That's
little
right.
bit of an explanation saying they were surprised, but then said they made it worse. And this is what you got to do. So I think I
Yeah.
applaud them for at least responding in that way.
And I, what I when I started reading it, I was expecting here's 50% off or some sort of token
Right,
discount,
right.
But now they're going to send out the coupons. They're going to honor their original pledge. So that's good.
Yeah, it is good. The problem is this might break the company. This might be the end of Daiya. They might go with Beyond Meat Impossible into history books and never to be heard from again because the pizzas aren't good at all. They're really bad. The one that I had was awful. Which I just
So why did you
bought one day
get free ones?
because it was free. It's free calories, energy. I don't know. Put it in the
Yeah.
freezer for doomsday, whatever. So I just claimed it. So now they're giving away all this pizza, which costs money, obviously more than they had planned to do because they didn't immediately say, "Oh, here, we'll just print more coupons and give them." Instead, they said, "Oh, we have to do something to stop giving away all this pizza." Right. So obviously, this cost them money, and it's not something they wanted to do. Outlay this cost.
Yeah.
On the bright side, everyone more than expected are going to get to try their pizzas. On the not bright side, the pizza's not good, so it's going to be bad. I think. That's what I think. This is maybe the end of Daiya.
Well, I hope not. I mean,
I wouldn't be that
I
sad.
know you're
This
okay
cheese
with
is
the
awful.
diet fail, but the problem is
I am.
like no one else has the infrastructure to get as much vegan cheese out into the world as Daiya does.
Yeah.
So I hope it's not the end of Daiya. I would never wish that, but
No, I wouldn't either.
but this
love
you're
if
right.
they-
I mean, if they couldn't, if when they were flooded with requests, if they couldn't have said, "Oh man, we got to expand this," then there's a real. They must be. I don't know. There must be real concerns over on Team Daiya about what
Yeah,
this
but
means.
I mean, I'm sure they. Well, I don't really know for sure, but I would imagine they have investors and all that, and maybe this is more than they intended to outlay as a marketing expense, but perhaps it's nowhere near, bankrupting. Maybe they got plenty of cash resources or people they can go to get more investment if needed. Who knows?
There's some like mid-level marketing guy who's just pooping his pants right now because he convinced the team to do this.
Yeah, it's like the Michael Scott, Willy Wonka golden ticket idea when he puts
exactly
puts them all on the same pallet and they all go to the biggest customer. And then it turns out he's a genius because they reorder and they get all happy, so he changes the story. Yeah, maybe it's like that. Maybe there's a Michael Scott guy somewhere who has had a lot of ups and downs here.
Mm-hmm. Miss Jeffrey says there's no way this is the end of the company. They have huge contracts with pizza shops and restaurants, and they are now owned by a huge Japanese pharmaceutical company.
Yeah,
well, there you go.
It's not even. But I hope they get motivated to change their whole cheese recipe. That's what I'd like. Stop selling plastic.
Man, you gotta quit with the hate, dude. You gotta quit with the hate.
I know.
You've been eating Daiya for years.
Yeah, begrudgingly, less and less. It's banned from my house. One of the first items to be banned from my house in this recent wave of bannings that I did, starting around last year. This time.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if you get the pizzas.
I'm sure I won't. I said unsubscribe. Don't send anything to that address. So they didn't even send me this. But who knows? Maybe they didn't actually remove the address from the mailing list. Who knows? We'll see. All right. So there you go. That's the Daiya thing. Applaud them though for that response. Really, that as much as I don't like the product, that is the way to handle this. So good job. Okay. So that's that sort of introduction. The only other intro stuff I have is I'm starting a bulking plan, Doug. I finished my 8 weeks of my most recent training cycle, regained all my strength from my sickness time, did 1 rep max testing past 3 or 4 days, and in some areas exceeded before I got sick. So that's a nice win. And now I'm ready for a little change. So I got this, it's called Mass Made Simple by Dan John. He doesn't really focus much on the food, so it's kind of up to me. He just says eat a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, like in between all your meals. And that's good advice. That has worked for me in the past. Well, peanut butter sandwiches anyway. But I'm gonna do that 6 weeks long. Only work out every 3 days, but it's like a killer high rep back squats is the key. So you're doing eventually sets of 50 of squats, and they're not heavy, but they're enough that I think after about 20, you're like, I can't believe I have to do 50. So I do think it's the key. I think those big muscle groups, when you just like kill them, I think it pretty much floods your body with, mass inducing hormones and things. So I'm going to try it, see what happens. Nice little change.
You got to take the before and after photo. I mean, even if it's just for yourself.
I might do that. I really should, because I've already started eating additional food this morning. So
you don't need to share publicly, but then at least if it has worked or not. Like
you're right.
Physique standpoint.
All right, I'll do that, and then you never know. Maybe one day they'll see the light of day.
Maybe one day.
Who knows? Anything else, Doug, from you, other than Plantapalooza, or that's just 100% of your thoughts right now?
It's maybe 99.9% of my thoughts. The other 0.1% is race weekend this weekend.
Oh yeah, okay, that's the 50K.
So we can talk a little bit more about it tomorrow, but 50K.
Okay, good.
So feeling good.
Achilles tendon healed up.
It seems to be. Yeah, it gave me a little bit of a, just kind of like I noticed it a little bit yesterday on a 5-mile run, but it wasn't painful. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay, good. Glad to hear that.
Oh, and the other thing, I carved pumpkins last night.
Oh, you did it. All right. It's kind of early, isn't it? I guess not. It's only a week out, right?
It's a week out. Yeah, a little early maybe, but that was the night that we could meet up with some friends to do it. And I did something different. I'm usually a classic kind of slightly scary face guy.
Right.
Not trying to get anything crazy. But yesterday I did something a little different. Did a silhouette of a raven. And it turned out okay.
Oh, was it like a stencil thing?
No, I just Googled, simple but interesting pumpkins or something like that. And saw that and just sketched it out and the sketch looked terrible. I was like, this is a huge mistake. It's going to look awful. But then once I started cutting and kind of like tweaking it a little bit, it actually turned out pretty good.
So is it like one of those negative space ones where like the shining part is not the picture, but that's the background, and the non-shining part is what's left behind?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. See, I think that's the way you do a good pumpkin. Negative space use. That's my take from having not doing pumpkins in a long time.
Hot take from someone who hates jack-o'-lanterns.
I mean, it is. It's a way to make it different.
Steven carved his pumpkins yesterday too. I wonder what did you do,
Steven? I thought they don't do Halloween over there.
What? It's not true.
I really thought that was an American pagan holiday that was banned in Europe.
No, Halloween started, I think, in Ireland,
like Massachusetts, or something. Plymouth Rock. What's that? Pumpkinhead guy story?
Yeah, it started a festival of Samhain among the Celts in ancient Britain and Ireland. Yeah, it's an Irish holiday.
Okay. Well, then no wonder Steven's into it.
Yeah, and as Mr. Jeffrey points out, Steven is an international man.
Yeah,
international man of mystery.
He definitely is.
You never know what he's going to be celebrating. All right, should we get to the weather report?
Yep. As soon as I figure out the name, Sleepy Hollow, Legend of Sleepy Hollow. That's where I thought Halloween began, from that headless horseman guy, but apparently not. All right. Yeah. Let's jump. Oh, hold on. Before we do that,
come on, Justin.
No, we got a breaking news. Let me find the noise. I can't find it. Man, would have been so good to find that.
I got 6 more days till I gotta.
All right, if you can't see the screen and what I put up on there, it says it's from Justin Kerner, our new guy, podcast listener, came to the show for the first time live. He says, any pull-up update? End of October coming up soon. Hope I haven't missed it. Yeah. Good question. I haven't thought about that in a while. What is the update, Doug? You're going to do some demonstration for us in October.
Yeah, I'm going to show you where I am. Yep.
Okay.
It's not good. It's not good. It's a couple pull-ups. That's it.
I
don't know why this is so hard for me. I just
still doing them?
Yeah. I mean, not like nearly as consistently as I was a few months ago, but just progress wasn't happening. I don't know. Just like I got stuck and I don't know.
He would have stuck to my plan from the very beginning of doing Grease the Groove. And then I remember one day when it all turned, he said, I got this new workout now. This guy came over and he showed me this new thing I'm going to start doing. Yeah. And I said, you got to just keep doing every single day, a few of them. Mm-hmm. Look where you'd be. We don't really know where you'd be, but we know where you are.
We know where you are, and it's not good. It's not good. I actually think I've probably taken a step back, like a backslid a little bit.
I'm not surprised at all. That's what happens when you don't do stuff.
Whatever. This has plagued me for years.
Yeah, maybe it's just not your thing. Sometimes
it has to be my thing. 5 pull-ups. I think that's it's not that crazy of a goal.
No, it's not. But
oh man,
who knows? I do not know. Okay, thank you, Justin Kerner, for asking that question because we needed to hear that. Okay, so now let's turn our attention to the weather report. We got some good stuff today. I found this stuff pretty interesting and some themes that recur a little bit. All right, here we go. Weather report. Oh, quiet. All right. There's a new place in Chicago. It's called X Market. It's a food hall, and it's all vegan. 6,500 square feet. I think I read at least 6 vegan restaurants. They're saying diverse range of eateries here. Kale My Name, which is American fare. Bloom, Plant-Based Kitchen, International. 3 other yet-to-be-announced restaurants. Kitchen 17, which is deep dish pizza. Chicago Not Dogs, hot dogs and burgers. El Hongo Mágico, plant-based taqueria. Doug, you'll be into that. Mexican food. Mm-hmm. 2D restaurant. I don't know what that means. Mochi Donuts and Boba. So anyway, whole food hall. I mean, it's like a vegan mecca now in Chicago. That would be super cool to go to if you were a vegan and you're going through Chicago for any reason. I think that's a must go for lunch. Maybe even stay there for dinner and just eat through the whole thing.
Hang out all day. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we've come a long way when we have 6,500 square feet dedicated to this diet. So yeah, that's super cool. This was in the news yesterday. I have blinders on when it comes to environment stuff. When I see environment things or the name Greta Thunberg, I tune out. I didn't think of that joke ahead of time, but it's a pretty good one. I just tuned out, and didn't even consider putting it on the show, even though she was talking about vegan grenades and sustainable war tanks and weaponry. It just didn't even occur to me that I might put that in the show. I don't know why. And then today I saw it again. I said, of course that should be in the show. So anyway, did you see this video, Doug, before it was debunked?
No, I haven't. I don't know anything about this.
You haven't heard about it? Okay. So something went viral, a video of her on a talk show. I watched the clip. It's on Snopes.com, or Snoops as you like to call it, because they snoop around for the truth.
That's what it's called. That's what it's called.
We could play it. I don't know if we need to. It just sounds. I've never heard her talk before, but it sounds like it looks like a real video. Her mouth moves a little bit too much, not quite the right way. It looks like maybe bad dubbing. But anyway, it went viral, of course, because of the ridiculous that she's saying, if we're going to have this war, let's at least have sustainable tanks and have vegan grenades and sustainable missiles so that animals don't need to die in the process of this. So it was kind of ridiculous that I can't imagine it ever. I don't know how it actually did go viral because it was so ridiculous. But apparently it's been shown to be a deep fake in which genuine footage was digitally edited with fabricated audio to make it seem like she said those things.
Man, that's so scary.
It is. I've seen a couple YouTube ads recently that are very, very bad fakes. I wouldn't even call them deep fakes. They're just fakes, and they're not good.
Show fakes.
Of The Rock doing some kind of ad, $6,500 like credit thing everyone can claim, some government check, and it's The Rock's voice saying you have to get this thing, and it just doesn't sound right. It just, you can tell it's AI generated version of him. and not particularly good. And then there's one of, I think, Oprah doing the same exact kind of script. And they show a few seconds of the person talking in a way that doesn't match the audio at all. It just, they pulled some other clip of them. But I guess the typical YouTuber or someone on the go wouldn't really pay much attention. So anyway, that's happening now. I'm surprised those ads made it on, but I know. I'm sure.
I mean, it's just smarter. Like this one is I don't want to say harmless, right? Because it's making fun of someone who's a high profile climate activist, but I mean, it's just going to get worse and worse. It's going to get scary. No one's going to know what's real, what's not real.
Right.
And
I mean, this is like, it's not really harmless because this certainly aids to the polarization or whatever.
Totally.
People being just totally opposites. This goes around and they're like, wow, those vegans really are crazy. They're calling for this stuff. So yeah, that's a really bad thing. I don't know. It's going to be bad, but then it's not going to be bad because I think very, very soon, even now, like you just can't trust anything anymore of them, which I guess is scary in itself. But it's not like if you were a celebrity, it's not all that scary that somehow you're going to have some terrible video go around that ruins your image, because I don't think anybody will believe it anymore. It's just like right away they'll
just blame it on AI. I guess if it's real,
now you can do more stuff.
We'll probably have made it in the world. That might be a good gauge if we get deepfaked.
I was thinking about that. I was actually going to ask if someone, with all the video we have online now, hours and hours and hours. Yeah, if one of the fans of the show could make a nice deepfake for us of Doug saying like, "I hate tacos" or something like that, or "I hate the environment." Something that would get Doug not elected in the next Black Mountain Town Council elections.
Let's not do that. I this is kind of off topic, but not really. I was either listening to something or read something about how people are taking social media clips of people talking, like just random, nobody's talking. And then they pair that up with the information they find on the dark web about, like your address or your social security or your email address or something like that. And then when you call and you try to get your bank information changed and they ask you a series of questions, a lot of that information is already out there, and they pair it up with your voice, and they pair it up, and so now suddenly it's almost impossible for the person on the other end of the phone or the video to tell if it's real or not.
Yeah, right. And I just got the idea for one of those virtual kidnappings where you could impersonate somebody, get them to say in a recorder that they're kidnapped, and then you call a bunch of people, just spam 1,000 numbers that you have from their contacts, and say, "Hey, I'm kidnapped. You got to send this money to here."
Yeah, I like that. That's the idea you just came up with.
Yeah, I think about kidnappings a lot. I worry about that all the time. I actually don't, but I have thought about kidnappings. Okay, on to the next. Statistics. People in the UK are eating less meat than ever amid the cost of living crisis and shift to plant-based alternatives. Red meat is in the most decline. This is from, I think, Daily Mail. Fewer people are eating takeaway burgers, kebabs, and meat pies. The total average consumption is now just 854 grams or 1.88 pounds a week, the lowest it's been since measuring consumption began in the 1970s. So that is a huge drop off, and I guess it's even more than the COVID years, which were also kind of markedly low meat consumption years. It was down. Even the year before that, it was way down, and this is the year ending March 22. And then one more thing, it's fallen 14% since 2012 meat overall, with a much bigger fall for red meat specifically, and sales of carcass meat, is good, nice as that sounds, including beef, pork, and lamb, were down 26%, while the figure for chicken and other meat products fell 11%. What is carcass meat? Isn't it all carcass meat?
No.
Anyway, consumption is down in the UK. Hopefully the same is true for US. I haven't seen any US stats like that. And it's probably not down as much, I would imagine, based on how many vegan things we hear about over there compared to here. But good. I think it's a good thing. More good news. Time Magazine yesterday, I think, announced their annual roundup best inventions of 2023. And this time, Good Meat's cultivated meat made the list. I don't know why Upside Foods didn't get the nod, but Good Meat can now call themselves a Time magazine invention of the year. So that's cool. Other plant-based things that made it were Green Wolf Foods for their vegami, or maybe it's vegami. I'm not sure. Probably vegami. Plant-based salami, which focuses on natural flavors of vegetables using whole food ingredients. So that's a nice little welcome change. We think that might be, and Whole Foods agrees that might be the super trend of 2024 is putting the vegetables back in the plant-based diet. So that's, all good news. And also in the cultured meat world, there's a new kind of textbook out, Advances in Cultured Meat Technology, which, probably doesn't matter to anyone listening to this show, but I just thought it was significant that this is, scientists are putting together books now that kind of summarize the state of that market, talk about marketing issues with it. And I don't know, it's a serious thing.
It is a serious thing.
It is. Moving on, we announced a couple days ago that Denmark had become the first country to announce a plant-based diet kind of action plan, including training chefs in plant-based cooking. Now South Korea has joined in. They're the second country to actively participate in transforming the food system, says Veg Economist. Their Ministry of Agriculture, Food, and Rural Affairs unveiled the comprehensive plan, encouraging the adoption of alternatives to animal proteins. So, way to go, South Korea. And IKEA has added vegan chicken nuggets to their menu in Sweden. They're called Slagverk. I don't know why that matters so much, but I guess they never had vegan nuggets before. They've just had those little veggie ball things. All right, we still got more here. I think we have 3 more.
Wow.
And two of them are about dying, so they're not so nice. We'll put those 2 together. One of them, is no, there's only 2 left, and they're both about dying. So there we go. It's not funny. These are not funny things. An Ivy League student with a heart condition died after she drank Panera Bread's charged lemonade, which a large cup of which contains more caffeine than cans of Red Bull and Monster energy drinks combined, according to a lawsuit. We always talk about lawsuits of popular brands here, Doug. This one is not that funny. It's probably not that frivolous either. I don't really know. But so, like I said, it's an Ivy League student. I don't know where she went, but I think she was 21 years old. Yeah, Sarah Katz, 21, University of Pennsylvania student. There you go. She had taught CPR. She knew she had this heart condition. She had been warned by doctors and had complied to avoid, I guess, drinks with a certain amount of caffeine, with any kind of large amount of caffeine, or had avoided energy drinks at the recommendation of her doctor. And she had a heart condition called long QT syndrome type 1. And for whatever reason, she decided to drink this charged lemonade. And now the family is suing Panera because, the amount of caffeine that it had apparently it makes it a dangerous energy drink. So I don't.
I mean, is it clear that what charged lemonade is? I mean, I wouldn't have known what that meant.
Yeah, I don't know that. I guess I am surprised that she drank it, right? If you're someone who this stuff is really bad for you, I don't know if she knew it could be potentially fatal or not, like energy drinks in general. But they said, I think that she was fairly serious about avoiding these things. And so it's surprising to me that she did go ahead and order and drink this. But still, I'm not saying that she should have known, because if they don't make it clear that it contains caffeine, I don't know.
Or that much caffeine or something. I mean, that's crazy.
Right. I don't know what the laws are around that. You have to disclose when something contains caffeine. I think so, because caffeine's not for children, right? Well, I guess kids drink soda all the time. So, yeah, I guess it is for children. So, crazy. I don't know. Man, sad to hear that, of course. Interesting that, I will be curious to know what happens with it, but we'll probably never hear about it. The other one, Doug, you sent me this. Switch for Good has campaigned a new series of billboards. I think there are 5 of them in LA and Atlanta in heavily trafficked sections. And I don't have it right in front of me right now, Doug. Do you know what they said on them exactly? I mean, they're about dairy being the number 1 cause of fatal allergic reactions among children, which is surprising because when I saw that, I thought, what about peanuts? I thought peanuts are what
it says.
Has that.
It says cow's milk is now the most common fatal food allergy in kids. Is your kid next? Your child next?
And it's just a huge billboard. That's all it says on it in large,
like blacked out.
The whole thing. Yeah. Is your child next? And then their URL, killermilk.com. So you can go to killermilk.com if you want to learn more about that, which I did, and it's a bunch of interesting facts and things. And they give it. My first thought was, okay, I'm just trying to be a skeptic here, not trying to be automatically always on the plant-based side. And I said, okay, maybe by some measure, some statistical study, and there was a BMJ study that determined that since 1992, there's been a decrease in the proportion of deaths due to peanuts or tree nuts. Yet the rate of lethal exposure to cow's milk has increased, making it the most common single cause of fatal anaphylaxis. So I thought, okay, maybe that's true, but maybe it's that you have to still drink a whole lot of cow's milk in order for this to happen. Like, you still have to drink a whole glass of it. And anyone with a milk allergy, well, not anyone, but people would probably know this. They'd probably avoid having an entire thing. Whereas with the peanuts, if it's even in the air to someone, that could become an irritant or an allergen or whatever, and could provoke this sort of thing. But apparently, I just looked at the sampling of kids who had died from this on the website, and some of them were just like trace amounts, or someone got cheese flicked at him, apparently a kid, and that caused him to die. So in that
I've never heard of, obviously you hear about lactose intolerance and stuff like that. I've never heard of anyone dying from dairy.
I haven't either. And it's the peanuts thing. It seems like a fairly widespread thing. It seems like every school there are rules against that, or certain classrooms don't allow it.
Or like my niece, sesame is a big one for her.
Right.
And egg too, actually.
And somehow dairy is the most common cause of death.
And by far, if you're looking at this, you go to killermilk.com. They have a chart, and it's, by far, milk is like significantly bigger than most of these.
Yeah, so I can't figure out what the catch is. Maybe there is no catch. Maybe the catch is conspiracy and cover up, and Big Dairy is has just paid a lot of money to make sure this information doesn't get out or doesn't spread. I'm not saying that's not the cause, because it wouldn't be the first time that sort of thing happened, I think. I still wonder if there's more to it or not, but I don't know. Glad awareness is being brought. If it's even in the ballpark of those other foods that they're claiming it's more than any of them, but if it's even in the ballpark of those, it should be a known thing.
Yeah, totally. That's wild. That is wild.
Yeah. I like what Switch for Good does. They generally do stuff that promotes the message from a very practical point of view. I don't think they're really ethical mindset. They're more about health. I could be wrong. They may have ethical leanings for sure, but their messaging isn't that. So I think it's good. I think they're probably.
What do you think of the Billboard?
I think it's good. It's factual and it's provoking. I always worry, like, is this going to make people hate vegans now? And I don't see how this could, right? You'd have to, before you start hating vegans, you have to go investigate that website and see, and try to poke holes in it, as I am trying to do. But I don't know. If you can't find any, maybe you just need to listen.
Yeah. As Steven says in the comments, it feels pretty aggressive. The "is your child next?"
Yeah, I don't love the "is your child next" part.
But it, like, I don't know if this is real, and it is worse than peanuts as far as leading cause of fatal deaths. Then maybe you got to be aggressive just to make a splash. Got to get people thinking about it, talking about it. So I don't know. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. Like Steven, I could do without the "is your child next," because I think if your child were next, you would know they have a dairy allergy, right? It wouldn't be that you don't know they have a dairy allergy, then suddenly they die from it. I think all the children that I saw the examples of, they knew. One of them, their dad had given them a free from, chocolate bar, free from whatever allergens were supposed to be in there, free from milk allergens. But it apparently still was cross-contaminated or whatever. And so I think that "is your child next" is weird because everyone knows. But I guess the question is your child next? Because if you know they have a dairy allergy, then you better get vocal about it and make sure that it's not. Yeah. But still, if that's the case,
what if schools started banning dairy? How revolutionary would that be? It would be wild.
It would be crazy. Even if it's in a classroom, right? Like, you can imagine parents going crazy if they get a note home saying you can't have dairy in the classroom this year. Or
my God, I cannot even imagine.
Unless they don't have, because I guess they bring lunches in. They bring cheese in those lunches. They would say you can't. It's one of the food groups. You can't ban that. So crazy stuff. But that's probably why the message doesn't get out. So I'm glad that it is good for Switch for Good. Okay. So that is your weather report. It was long, as promised, but interesting stuff today. Mr. Jeffrey has never heard of anyone having a fatality from dairy, especially cross-contamination. Yeah, that's how I feel. It doesn't seem right. But if you look at the stats, maybe it is. All right. So I probably just have time for one of these things, though, so you can get back to your Planetapalooza work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And that's the one that was sent to us by Anne-Marie, which I have, I guess, since closed. No, here it is. From the Washington Post. So you should have found this one, Doug. I'm surprised you didn't. You're probably too busy with Planetapalooza work that you couldn't even
I haven't been keeping up with the news.
Morning paper. Yeah. What's the best diet for your body? A federal study aims to find out. And honestly, it's not that interesting of an article, but it's kind of interesting what's going on. It's that the government, an NIH study, they're recruiting people. They want 10,000 people. Actually, they want way more applicants than that so that they can then pick and make the groups exactly as varied as they would like them to be. Basically, they're trying to come up with a precision nutrition approach that says it's not just about eating this type of food, because as the article says, we kind of know what constitutes a healthy diet. The government's dietary for guidelines tell you eat fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, seafood, low-fat dairy, and lean meat and whole grains, while limiting things such as alcohol, sodium, refined grains, and added sugar. So I think most of us can agree with most of those for the most part. Those are generally good guidelines for most people. But everyone's unique, they're saying. And so they give an example of someone who, you go on a diet site or whatever, and you go to a doctor even, or a precision nutrition site, and people give you the wrong stuff. And they give you high oxalate foods as somebody who has a history of kidney stones, for example, and that wouldn't be very good at all. So they're saying, what are the factors? And they mention, let's see what other ones they mention here. Sex, genes, gut microbiomes, sleep, exercise, and stress levels. All these things can influence how our bodies respond to food. And so there may not be one diet that is right for almost everybody, but rather if we identify that there are, I don't, who knows, 10 or 15 different kind of subgroups of types of people in the world as far as optimal diets go, then we can start figuring out which one each of us is in, and then we can figure out how each of us should eat. Obviously, you can get way more narrow than that one day, that like maybe everyone would have their own personalized, customized diet based on their numbers. That to me seems a little bit far-fetched that we would ever get there. But I think it's cool. It's an interesting thing. And apparently you can go apply right now. How can I help people do this? Because you get paid for it, which is actually really nice. It seems like, you get $300 for the first one if you're selected. Then if you get to the second phase, where you have to start actually eating different diets, like they'll put you on different diets, I think 3 times for 2 weeks. So you probably need to eat meat for that, actually, because I think you got to do whatever they say. And I think very likely you can't opt out of certain ones. You get $2,000 for that phase. And then for the third phase, you get $6,200. But that requires you to live at the clinic site for weeks at a time. Not bad, though. Airbnb your house, earn some extra money from that. You could make 10 grand just from being in this study during that couple weeks. And then you're going to need to wear eyeglasses that monitor your eating, by the way.
Yeah, there's some work in there. So I kind of want to do this. I kind of want to apply. But I'd have to stop at phase 1 for what you said. Like, I'm not going to eat meat for the study. But like, if I like the general kind of collection data and where they wanted 10,000 people,
right?
I would be willing to do that and document it and everything. Because I'd be interested in how the process works, and also, to contribute to the thing. So I think I'm going to apply as long as I can opt out after phase 1, because that's kind of a deal breaker. That is definitely a deal breaker. And obviously, like, if I made it to phase 3, I'm not going to live in a clinic for weeks at a time. It's just not going to happen. But
you could do this show from the clinic.
Make for good content, but I don't know that Katie would be super thrilled about it.
Nor the people of Black Mountain. What would they do without their elder?
That's right. That's true.
All right. So, and I guess at some phase you need to wear a continuous glucose monitor, an activity tracker, stool sample you have to do, 2 trips to the clinic. So there's some work to do here. But yeah, it would be fun. And it'd be really fun to learn this about yours. The other benefit, other than getting paid, is that you will learn a whole lot of great information about your health. You get free analyses of gut microbiomes, daily blood sugar fluctuations, insulin, gut and satiety hormones, and intricacies of your metabolic health. So interesting. I found the link. I'm going to put that up real quick if anyone watching this does want to sign up. I wonder how they
if you Google Washington Post, what is the best diet NIH study?
Yeah. And the website, by the way, is nutritionforprecisionhealth.org.
You have to live in Alabama, California, Illinois, Louisiana, Massachusetts, or North Carolina.
North Carolina, that's you.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I kind of think I should do it.
Yeah, you should. Do it, Doug. You can have unpaid leave while you're off at the clinic.
Thanks.
You treat that as your pay, that whatever stipend they're getting.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Anyway, the eyeglasses is kind of cool. I mean, it seems sort of weird, but I guess that's a very good way of doing this kind of study, because then you don't get people lying so much about what they eat unless they just don't put their glasses on while they eat. But that's cool. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, not much to say about it, except, there's the bigger question of, does this actually make sense? Is this precision nutrition thing really a thing, or is it a huge, I don't know, industry-driven scam? And there are a bunch of companies that are trying to capitalize on the precision nutrition idea. Many of them already saying, you go there, you punch in your number, and they will prescribe you with a totally, custom diet plan based on, I think some measure they look at your genes, like you have to your 23andMe data, and others, and they're going to tell you this is what to eat. I think that at this point certainly must suffer from way too small of samples and much too reductionist sort of stuff. Like they might say, well, we found that people with just this type of genes don't respond well to carrots or whatever. So then you stop eating carrots. But now what has happened when you stop eating carrots? Because you've now lost a source of something good. And what are you replacing those calories with? And this happens infinitely more complex than that with other recommendations. I've seen these blood sugar, continuous glucose monitor companies, some of them saying don't eat blueberries because, look, you can see what the blueberry does to your blood sugar. When we know that blueberries have a lot of good positive health outcomes, and that spike in blood sugar might just be what's supposed to happen when you eat fruit like blueberries. So it's just, I think it's way early for companies to be selling solutions that are like full comprehensive stuff. Now we do some stuff where you test your levels, and you see with Complement Insight program where you test levels and see if you are deficient in certain things, and then the supplements that you're given are to correct those specific deficiencies. So obviously I'm behind that, or wouldn't be doing that program. But the stuff where it looks at genes and all this other stuff, I just think that's kind of crazy. I think it's a little bit too, maybe a lot too early for that. But anyway, this study would help. Actual studies being done on large scale over long periods of time, and they're saying we're not going to know this stuff anytime soon. I think they said at the end of the article how people should be eating. It's a long haul effort. But anyway, I think it's good. I think actually studying this in these organized kind of ways is important.
Absolutely.
Which is why you, Doug, should do it. And why listeners, jump in, go get that cash.
Harold Bell says he's going to try to get in.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our show today, sadly. But has to happen. Has to end. Doug's got to get back to Planetapalooza work. And if you haven't yet, should go do that. NoMeatAthlete.com/longevity will get you all the information that is coming out from the Planetapalooza Longevity Festival. Is it a summit, Doug, or is it a festival?
Festival.
Okay. Like a ukulele jam kind of thing.
Exactly. Kind of there's actually a ukulele jam tomorrow at 3 if anybody wants to join in. No, just kidding.
That would be pretty good if we did that.
Online longevity festival. It's great. There's also, of course, the huge sale. So again, it's a bigger sale than we're going to run at Black Friday. So now really is kind of the Black Friday of Complement this year. If you're interested.
What are we going to do instead during Black Friday? Are we going to opt outside and tell everyone this is evil, these corporate giants ruining Thanksgiving?
We're not going to opt outside, but we are going to do something very unique.
Ooh, okay.
And do it for good. It's cool. So
are we going to shame other companies for trying to make sales during Black Friday?
No, because there will be a sale, but the focus of our Black Friday effort will not be on sales. It'll be more on doing good. Anyway, more on that to come. Right now, we're talking about Planetapalooza, baby. So, NoMeatAthlete.com/longevity, or just go to lovecomplement.com. Get your deals, get your content, get the interview with Khan, the videos from Ella. It's gonna be a great day tomorrow. Tomorrow's should I tease who's coming tomorrow?
Just tease it. Give us like what it begins with, and how many
Ooh.
letters, like a crossword puzzle.
Okay. I'm gonna say 3 words for 3 different people.
Okay.
Sprouts.
Yep.
Meditations. And diabetes.
Okay. So the topics are given, but the names are not, and you'd have to know who the names are, and you could match those up pretty easily if you knew who was involved, and you can find out who's involved.
That's true. Yeah.
But still, they're good content, or good. They're good topics, and it is good content. So anyway, go check that out. Nomedothy.com/longevity. Kelly K says, "Good luck with the race, Doug Hay." Mr. Jeffrey says, "Opt inside." I love that idea for promotion 1 year, where we just tell everyone opt into our list and opt inside the house for Friday sales.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Interview with Doug this year. There should be an interview with Doug this year. There should be an interview about ultra running fitness and pull-ups, how to sustain a habit, how to make constant, steady progress towards your goal. Okay.
Hey, if you go back to 2 years ago, I couldn't do any pull-ups. So there has been a very constant
gradual
progress.
Power of small steps with Doug Hay.
Very small. Like the line is just barely creeping up there.
Hey, that's right. Soon it'll hockey stick. You keep going. Eventually, it's going to hit that tipping point.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks for your faith. All right, everybody. Have a good day.
All right. Goodbye.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow.